Most women fear getting bulky. I used to think building muscle would take me forever, but in 1 year, I gained 8 kilos of lean muscle. And here's exactly how I did it. But before we get into that, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because there will be 1 to 2 uploads per week. So let's get into it. I need to give you some context first. I naturally, genetically have quite a small frame, but I am fortunate enough to have an autoimmune disease of the thyroid. So this means that I gain weight very easily. I have struggled with my weight from the age of about 9 when I got diagnosed up until about 18, 19. So I am not genetically very small, and I'm also not genetically very able to gain muscle. So let's backtrack. The early gym days, I fell so in love with the gym that I made every mistake in the book. I overtrained, I over dieted, I was in a diet culture. There's not one diet I've not tried. Keto, this, that, you name it, I've done it. So I knew I had to gain muscle. I knew I had to put on more muscle on my frame, and I'm still on that journey. So if you want to follow along, let me know. I will document that. But this goal was so personal to me because I wanted to defeat the odds. I wanted to prove everyone wrong that you can't gain muscle, you've got a thyroid condition, you're autoimmune, you're going to struggle. I wanted to make sure that I could maximize my gains, and I'm going to tell you exactly how I did it. My metabolism wasn't naturally fast at all. And with Hashimoto's, building muscle felt like it was impossible. But I learned that the science and the patience behind it, and I was able to gain 8 kilos of muscle in 1 year. So let's talk about my training split. My training split when I was gaining muscle, it consisted of 4 leg days and 1 upper body day. Now, I'm gaining muscle for the second time. It is 3 leg days and 2 upper body days. I think 3 leg days is more than enough, and learn from my mistakes. Yes, it was absolutely amazing, but recovery wise, I am recovering better doing 3 leg days. It was all about focusing on progressive overload and being intentional with the movements. So making sure that I could be so intentional with when I'm doing the movements, slow eccentrics, making sure that I'm really feeling the muscle. Developing that mind to muscle connection will fast track you to be able to make the maximum amount of gains. So I had a shift. It wasn't just exercising to train. It was I need to develop and be able to maximize my muscle growth. So I stopped overdoing the cardio. I focused on form, heavy compound lifts, and increasing the weight over time. Progressive overload is this big fancy term, but all it means is that the next time you step in the gym, you want to almost beat yourself. It's only you versus you. So you either want to increase your reps, increase your weight, increase your time under tension, improve your form. There's many ways to apply progressive overload. I knew that my goal was to grow my glutes and my shoulders specifically, but overall, my whole structure needed to come up. And fun fact, it needs to come up again. You cannot gain muscle if you're in a calorie deficit, or if you can, it's very hard. I had to make sure that I went through a calculated surplus and then went back down to a mini cut. Then I pushed up, then I went down to a mini cut. What this means is was in a sufficient surplus for 20 weeks. Then we pulled back for 8. Then we went up for another 16. Then we went back for 8. So when I say we went back, we went into a cut phase to reduce some fat tissue. That meant that I was also eating in a calorie surplus, and it meant that I had to make sure that my protein intake was about 1.6 to 2.2 per kilogram of body weight. So I balanced my carbs and my fats to enable me to be able to recover and also have enough energy. I did experience some challenges. I did experience fighting off that old diet culture and that scare of seeing the scales increase. That was really difficult, especially when I'd spent 20 weeks dieting prior, and then you're seeing that scale increase. That was really, really tough. So it was a transitional period that I had to get used to. But if I wanted to gain muscle, I knew that I had to be able to sit in that surplus, and as uncomfortable as it can be and your clothes feel a little bit tighter, don't keep the same wardrobe. Wear clothes that are comfortable and complement your physique. And that's something that I learned. Now, with recovery and hormones, Hashimoto's means that I have to be more mindful of recovery. I have to be very aware of my blood work, and I have to be very, very aware of how I'm feeling. I had to make sure my sleep was at absolutely bang on. Someone that dealt with sleep insomnia, sleep paralysis, it was something that I knew that I had to have a consistent wake time and bedtime within about an hour window. I had to make sure that I had the least amount of stress possible, because lower stress equals better growth. I had to make sure that my rest days were used intentionally and not trying to cram everything in, and that I made sure that I went to the sauna. I started implementing the sauna 3 times a week, and I'm still doing that to this day. Supplements that I feel like really helped me, I can go into in a completely different video, and if you want to see that, drop a comment down below, because that's a whole nother ball game. Now, this was a mindset shift. Muscle growth takes time and patience. It also takes a lot of consistency, especially as a woman. There were months where I didn't see a big change on the scale, and I was taking my check-in photos and I didn't really like them, but I sent them to my coach and I did not even look at them, because I knew the bigger picture, and I knew the bigger picture in my head. So it's really important that I remain consistent, and that's exactly what I did, and that's how the results came. I had to trust the process, and as hard and difficult as this is, it's really important that you do trust the process, and that I'm not just chasing quick results, that I took that time out and I made sure that I was seeing where I could improve, film my sets, making sure that I could really take it there, take sets to where I've never taken them before, because if you want to build that muscle, you have to do things that you've not done before. Now, there were some mistakes that I would recommend avoiding. Number 1, overtraining and under eating. We used to, and I'm glad to see it shifting, live in this diet culture. Train as much as you can, eat as little as you can, and it's not that at all. So making sure that you are fueling yourself correctly. Number 2, constantly changing your workout program. The amount of clients that say, oh, I'm bored with my workout program, can we change this, can we change this? 1 or 2 exercises is absolutely fine, not the whole program. Why? You want to be seeing progressive overload. You want to be seeing yourself getting stronger over time. Number 3, and this is the most common one I see with clients, is comparing your progress to others. And I am the first person to put my hands up here and say, I compare. I think, why is it taking me longer? Let's put things in perspective. I'm 5'7.5". I have a lot of room to fill, and I'm not going to be building muscle like a 5-foot girl. So what someone gains as a 5-foot girl compared to a 5 foot, nearly 8 girl is going to look completely different. So it does take longer, and you cannot compare yourself. So if I can build 8 kilos of lean muscle with thyroid challenges, can I say, you can too. Focus on training with smart intention, eating enough, and recovering well. If you want more videos like this on building muscle as a woman, or if you have any questions, please leave them in comments below, and make sure that you give a subscribe and turn the notification bell on, because I'll be uploading 1 to 2 times a week.